recording. I want you to understand that you can do anything you put your mind to, right? Nobody can stop you besides you. To learn this skill, you can learn this skill. It's only as hard as you make it. I know it may Chinese, I know it may seem weird, but here's the honest truth. At one point in our life, we did not know how to talk, and we learned it. At one point in our life, we didn't know, and we learned it. At one point in our life, we learned something that we didn't know, and we got good at it. But we limit ourselves by telling ourselves that we can't do something versus we can. So we, as the individuals that we are, we set our own limitations. So if you really want this skill to work for you, you just work for it and it will work out. Let me go ahead and just give a few more moments for people to hop on. I know everybody's getting used to the link tree. So just let some vibes run real quick and then we'll go ahead and lock in with the call. Throw some sevens in the chat if you're here with me. Type in where you tuning in from. Where you tuning in from? Right now I'm in Ohio. Where we all chiming in from?
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas in the building.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, man. Welcome to the call. Welcome to the call for sure. Appreciate the follow. Word. About to get this call started. Let's go. We got Dallas, Toronto, South Carolina, Texas, Atlanta. We all in here.
Okay. What state is it in?
Welcome to the call. Welcome.
Let me just double check. I'm not sure if you have to be licensed in that state, and I don't think I am. If I do, so rather than going through giving me all the information, let me get you transferred to someone that can help you.
Oh, somebody's actually on a call for work. I thought I was about to answer a question. So it's about to get real. Let me ask y'all, do y'all want to start with Trading View? Or do y'all want to start with the Manara? Okay, Trading View. All right, let's go ahead and get this call started. I'm ready. I'm ready. That's Betty Spaghetti. Cool. So, everyone, welcome to the call. And Coach Heath, I like to say, chosen. What's up, family? Hey, now. Is everyone, is there a lot of beginners? What type, who I got on the call? We got beginners mainly. We got people that are brand new. We got intermediate. We got some advanced. Where we at with it on the call? Let me check. Intermediate. Okay, cool. So a little bit of everything on here. Perfect. Beginner. Okay. So I'm going to start with Trading View, right? So Trading View. This is a trader's best friend. One thing I'm going to tell you from the beginning, what I'm going to be showing you and teaching you is from my perspective, right? The things that work for me, the things that haven't worked for me, the way that I view the chart. So if you've learned something from somewhere else, I am not saying that they're wrong at all, because nobody's really wrong when it comes to the market. It's just you didn't at the right time. So I'm teaching from my perspective, and what you've potentially been taught can be real. It cannot. I'm not sure, but I'm not here to judge anybody else. I'm just teaching from my perspective. Now, the way that I trade, I come to TradingView. The reason behind TradingView is because it gives me a clear picture of the market, what I'm looking for, right? Now, I know we have brand new people in here, so these right here are candlesticks, right? Every candle has a high, a low, a open, and a close, right? A high, a low, open, and close. Prime example, we're going to use this small candle. This one here at the top. So this right here, do we believe this would be the open, the close, the low, or the high?
The high.
Absolutely. This is the high because it's the highest point that the market went before it came back down. So if that's the highest point, this must be
Lowest.
the lowest, right? So now the body of the candle, one part of this is the open and another part is the close. So what I want you to understand is where one candle opens at, the prior one closed at. Where one candle opens at, where one candle closed at, the next candle opens at. So here, using this candle, we can tell that this green candle closed here at the top. This red candle opened here at the top. It closed here at the bottom of this body, and you can tell because the candle to the right of it is right here. Right? So this is the close, which is the open of this candle. And we can tell this is the lowest point. What's up?
Sorry, I am muted. No, I was unmuted. I didn't realize I'm muted.
Oh, okay, you're good. So is that making sense so far? We have open, close, high, and a low every time, no matter where it's at, no matter how big or how small. Even this little candle here has a open, a close, a high, and a low. Right? Over here, this is your price. This is telling you where the market is at. So here we have 1.12603 right now. 0203, it keep moving. Ignore the very last number and look at 1.1260. There we go. And then I'm attempting to make this as easy as possible because I know we got new people on here and it's already confusing. Right? So if price is right here at 1.1260 and you hear us say, oh, we're only going for 10 pips, right? I'm like, yo, everybody get in, don't enter no trade right now. If I say like, yo, everybody get in for 10 pips, we're entering at 1.1260. If I say price is now at 1.1250, is that giving me 10 pips to the upside? 1.1260 to 1.1250, is that going up 10 pips?
Yes.
Yeah, it's recorded. Say that one more time.
From 1250 up to 1260 is going up.
So we're going from 1.1260.
Oh, that's going down.
Right. So that would be going the opposite way. That would mean we're negative 10 pips. So just because we always talk about the wins, we can also lose inside this market. If you understand what we're teaching you, you can take 10 trades, lose 7, and still be profitable. This game of Forex will teach you greed, how greedy you are. It will teach you anxiety, how anxious you are. It will teach you a lot about yourself. And you have to understand it's you versus you inside these charts. It's you versus you. So we have the prices over here. So if we're going from 1.1260 and we see one up. Oh, 1 second. Boom. And we see price come up to here. That's 10 pips in profit. At this point, I'm like, yo, take your profit, get out of the market. These over here are tools. So this little tool that I'm using right here, you come down where you see this little cursor, come down 1, and you click on this arrow, and it'll give you the whole list. As you see, I have 3 of these favorited. So if you want to copy what I have favorited, you can. But I'm not going to use a lot of them right now. I'm only going to be using pretty much the horizontal line and the horizontal ray. So far, anybody have any questions?
No.
Cool beans. At the top, we have the time frames. 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, monthly. Right? What time frame are we on right now?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Absolutely. That means every candle, no matter how big or small, it represents 30 minutes. This candle's 30 minutes. This is 30 minutes. This is a 30-minute candle, but right now we're only 15 minutes inside of it. So it's 15 minutes and 30 seconds left. And then the next candle will be created. If I go to the 1 minute time frame, now we can see it's 1 minute for every candle. So if I look on here, we see it's only 20 seconds. Let's see what happened in 20 seconds. Now remember, where one candle closed, the next one opens. So where this body stops at, the next candle is going to open up right beside it. So we got 10 seconds. So this was the highest point. This was the lowest point. This candle opened here, closed here. This candle opened here, high point here, lowest point here, closed right here. And then the next candle opened right beside it. The body of it still starts here. This is the lowest that it went so far. This is the highest that it went, even though it's a strong body, because it can stop just like this. We're going to let one more candle go by. So if it pulls down, you'll start to see it. You see the wick now, but that body is still right here. So this is the open. Now this is the highest. This is the lowest. We got 20-something seconds left. So I want you to understand when you're taking a trade, look at the time frame you're taking your trade on and understand it can take, we're on a 1 minute time frame right now. So it can take minutes for the trade to play out. If I'm on a 30-minute time frame, it can take increments of 30 minutes for the trade to play out. So I don't need to rush it. Don't rush the process, trust the process. Candle, look, this one.
I'm about to get ready now.
Close right here.
It's like a brunch. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get ready too. Hey now. So that's what the tools are. We got the time. Over here is your pairs. So you click here and you can type in whatever pair you want, GBP, USD, or whatever pair that you're thinking about. You can type that in there, right? Up here, you got the candlesticks. You can switch it from candles to columns, line, and so forth. I keep mine on candles. This here is indicators. So if you want to put like a moving average on here, you'll click here, boom, and just type in whatever pattern you want. Or not pattern, I'm sorry, indicator. My favorites, indicator templates. So if you have any templates set up, I don't ever use it. Here's alerts. So if you want to create alerts to where it notify you when something that you want to see happens, it will send you an alert. If
On cruise for Christmas. Okay.
right? So right here, we see the bar replay. So if you're paying for your trading view, you can go back in time and watch a replay of the candles play out. That will help you with practice. If you don't have the money to pay for the paid version of TradingView, here's my secret tip. Mentally take trades. Mentally take the trade. For example, if I'm like, oh, this is about to sell from here, I'm gonna say it's gonna sell and I'm gonna watch it play out. I'm not physically going to my phone and plugging the trade in, right? I'm mentally taking it. Why is that? It's because I want to program myself to know, like, every time I see this specific thing happen, I can get into the trade. Think about when we have our kids, or even when we were kids, right? If we were playing sports, we did the same action over and over and over again until it was programmed in our system to just do it second nature. It's the same thing here with trading. It's the same thing. Let me check the chat. I think it's something in the chat. What is the red and blue lines? Got you. So these blue lines are moving averages. This is a part of my setup on how I look at the chart. I have a 200 moving average on here, and I use the 50 moving average. So this red line that turns red and green is a 50 simple moving average, right? So as you see, when we're below it, it turns red. When we're above it, it turns green. So it just let me know pretty much above it, I'm looking for buys. Below it, I'm looking for sales, which is buys are going up, sales are going down, right? So before we get to the Manara side, if I'm looking at a pair on TradingView, I'm going to start off by analyzing the entire market, right? So let's say we didn't have AI. So without AI, I'm coming to the chart and I need to get a clear picture. Now, I know I got some family on this call. You can unmute, you can type it in the chat. But growing up, my family told me that history always does something. What is that?
Repeats itself.
Absolutely. History always repeats itself, and it's never been more true until it came to Forex, right? So let me tell you what I mean by that. Let's put a zone here. You see how this candle came into this zone here? We were here before. Let's call this, since I think we all been here before. Right? I think we all been to high school before. Or we all know about high school. So we came to high school. And look what happened years later. We came right back to the same high school. But in the past, we came to the same high school. And then in the past, we came to the same high school. Prices continuously coming to the same spot, making a decision. So we just have to figure out where price is going to go to again and make its decision so we know what direction to go in, right? So in this situation, with price coming here and leaving, coming to my support, right, which is pretty much a floor. If you look, but if you're in your house right now, just look down. You got support keeping you up, right? This is the best way for you to understand it. If you was to fall through your floor and you had a basement, you would be in your basement. And then the floor that you once was at would be your ceiling. So for example, this is your floor supporting you. We broke through the floor and came to the basement. This is the basement. So let's put a zone here at the bottom. Now I want you to think about trading like this, even with the situation. If we're at the basement and we're not breaking below the basement, what's the only direction that we can go?
Up.
We can only go up. So I'm going to give y'all my indicator that I use on here that shows me where I am inside the move. I'm going to teach y'all how to use a piece of this indicator so you guys can start utilizing this to help you with entries, so you can see where you are inside the move at all times. So if you're watching a replay, rather you're on here live, I want you to come to tradingview.com, right? And I want you to come to the indicators, and I want you to type in TDI. And I want you to find the one that says Ziada charts, Traders Dynamic Index, RSI divergence. Y'all got that? Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna ask y'all a question. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. I know the answer, but it's cool. Is it okay to get a little difficult real quick? I need to get a little difficult, but it's gonna make sense to y'all. In order for y'all to understand this, it's gonna seem Spanish, but I'm actually gonna type it out to make it easier. So this is at the bottom is a TDI. Now, on this TDI, I want you to go to the settings, right? And right here where it says RSI period, put the number 8. At the bottom one, in the middle of the screen, at the RSI period here, I also want you to put the number 8. And that's all you're gonna change.
Wow.
All right. So now I'm going to explain what this is, this indicator, this TDI indicator. I'm gonna learn y'all today. Learn y'all. Green line, green line, green line, green line. You're getting value from the call. Let me get a 777 in the chat one time for the one time, one time for the one time. 777. Let's keep the energy going, y'all. Let's wake up. I know it's early and it's Monday. Current price. Red line. Entry line. Yellow. I'm gonna call it yellowish. Resistance. Then so that's all that's online. Okay, cool beans. So let's talk about this indicator. If I want to take notes on this part here, you definitely want to, right? So right here, we have the TDI. The top blue line, it's above us. Would this be our support or our resistance? It's above us. Ceiling is above.
Resistance.
Absolutely. It's our resistance. So the bottom blue line must be our support. The green line is current price. So it represents the candles up top. So if I pull this up, let me go back in time real quick to move the words out the way. So you see how the green line is down here and this is down here. The green line moves up, price moves up. It represents current price. Everything that the candles are doing is represented by the green line. The red line is entry line. I'm going to explain that to you in a second. This yellowish line is the support resistance. So if the green line is below it, the yellow line is our resistance. If the green line is above it, the yellow line is our support. This purple line is just the RSI. We don't have to break that down. So as a matter of fact, I'll cut it off so you don't really need it. Okay. We all know what a peanut butter jelly sandwich is, right? If this top blue line is our resistance, the bottom blue line is our support. Let's use it as bread, right? So this will be a top piece of bread and the bottom piece of bread. Now, we got 16 people on here, and I want to make sure you understand it. Action is a part of this. Like action is a part of this. Action is a part of this. It's going to help you memorize, and it's going to help you be in action so you know. Give me 1 second. Let me mute. All right, cool beans. So, hear me out. Just listen to the sentence. What time frame? Every time frame. Great question. TDI works on every time frame. Right now, I'm on a 1 minute time frame. Listen to the question. And I know we got 17 people on here now, so we should have about 16 answers. No matter if you're right or wrong. If you feel right or you feel wrong, just give yourself a chance. Here's price. We are outside of the bottom piece of bread. And the red line is right here. That's our entry line. So we use the entry line to say, when we cross it, hey, enter the trade, right? So if we're outside the bottom piece of bread and we want to get up, and we want to get up, and we want to get up to the peanut butter and jelly, what direction do we have to go? I want to see at least 15 answers in here. I see buy, I see buy, I see up, I see up, I see buy. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is going to stick. I promise you it's going to stick. So what this means is I'm outside the bottom. I need to go up. Absolutely. I need to buy. I only buy when I cross the entry line. Make that, I'm gonna say that multiple times. That rhymes. I only buy when I cross the entry line. I only buy when I cross the entry line. So right here is the entry line. This is where I am crossing. This is where I am entering the trade. So let's go above and let's see if the market went up. Price went up. Now let's go back down here. Let's just go here. Now this is a little different because the red line is not right here. We're not outside the bottom or the top piece of bread. This right here, we know it's resistance though. So if we know that we hit a resistance, we just come up top to look for the resistance. How do we find a resistance? I like to look for places where we see 3 or more candles in a row, and I like to mark it. So for example, 1, 2, 3 in a row to the downside, I'll mark this zone. So this will be my resistance. If I want to make this chart all nasty, I can make this extended here to the whole candle. Right? It came right back to the same spot. Remember, history always repeats itself. Such replays. I will drop it inside of the team chat. I'll drop it in the team chat. Or just message me. I'll send you the link to it. If you miss it, I got you. So, at any time, on any pair, any time frame, I know exactly where I am inside the move. As a matter of fact, I don't want to pick a pair. Somebody drop a pair or tell me a pair to go to, and we'll work on that one real quick. And then we go to Manara. Let me check the chat. GA, GJ, GA. All right, bet. I got 2 for the GA. Need some sweet P. I bet. So we on GA. Let's just do this. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Let's go back in time, way back. Trying to go way back, way back. And then we'll go here. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame. Let's go back. I went inside that far. I probably went way, way, way back. So we can just start here. There we go. I'm gonna start here. Oh, same thing here, right? I can see one right here. And we all agree right here at the specific spot, we are outside the bottom piece of bread. Right? Let me. Boom, boom, boom. So this right here, we're outside the bottom piece of bread. In order for us to get inside to the peanut butter and jelly, we got to go up, like y'all stated. So here is the entry line right on top of the bottom piece of bread. So listen to the key, where the red line is on top of the bottom piece of bread. The red line is on top of the bottom piece of bread. So when current price, green line, crosses it, that's entry. As you see here, here's the cross right here on this candle, and we got buy. We came outside the top piece of bread here. Look at this, red lines here. There's your sell. The exit for this move to the downside was right here for this entry. That's the exit, but also the entry for the buy. I know it seems confusing. Let me check the chat real quick. I don't want to miss something. So let's go back. Let's do this again. Everything that we see down here at the bottom is playing out up top. If you can be patient and wait to be outside the bottom of the top piece of bread, and you see right here, this is where we crossed a little bit backwards, right? Outside the bottom piece of bread, we crossed the entry line and we got our buy. Outside the top piece of bread, we crossed the entry line. Boom, we got our sell. Remember, this line plays as support resistance, right? Look at that. We crossed to the bottom for the sell. There's your sell. But notice when we're crossing here, and y'all will learn this later, too much information, it respected the 50 moving average, which is our resistance. It played right off of it. But when we actually look at what happened, remember, history always repeats itself. Remember, we said we like to look for 3 candles in a row. Here go 3 in a row. So I'm going to mark that. And what I can see already out the gate, boom, we came right back, boomerang style, to the same place that we came to before. Now, this was once floor. Hold up, let me check the chat. Is entry only at support? This is a great question. That's the safest way. That's the best way to answer that. Safest way to enter is off at support resistance. That's a safe way. Yes. So when you're entering a trade, what you want to do is what are places that the market has came to before and was once a floor and turned a ceiling, or was once a ceiling and then turned into a floor. What do I mean by that? This right here. So we got this here. Price came down to this. Would this be considered the ceiling? Right here. Will this be a floor or a ceiling? Let me see it. Like the chat floor. Yep, absolutely. So with this being a floor, we can see that price came back to this. Yes, it broke a little bit above it. But if we was to mark this as a zone, I'm going ham. Then Manara notifications be going hamburger. So right here, we see that price, this was the floor. And because we broke below it, it became a ceiling, right? If we break below the floor, it's now our ceiling. It broke below the floor, became the ceiling. It's like we patched it up. This is what I'm talking about. Here, it was the floor, and this part of it is the ceiling. Respected it and then peeled to the bottom. And look, right here, it respected it. Right here off the 50. Here's the entry for the sale. And because we're on a 15-minute time frame, it takes increments of the, not of the 15-minute time frame. It takes increments of 15 minutes for the trade to play out. So remember, every candle represents 15 minutes. So it took some time to get down here. That's 71 pips. If you had a standard in the market, that's $700. Any one of us on this call can do that. Every last one of y'all have the capability of doing it. The reason why you have not done it yet is because you haven't believed that you deserve it yet. You have to believe it so you can achieve it. After this call, I want y'all to start living by the bar, right? Not the one you go drink at. Live by the bar. Beliefs, action, results. If you believe you should be somewhere in life, take the action toward it to get that result that you want. Too many times we doubt ourselves. Too many times we listen to what everybody else got to say and we never believe in what we got to say. And I looked at myself and I can only talk from my own perspective. I realized that when I was younger, I was always told what to do, why to do, how to do. And when I got 18, it was like I was still looking for confirmation to be told what to do. I never was used to making my own decisions. We got to trust in ourselves, right? We got to believe bigger, faster, so that way we can get the result that we want. The life that we want is on the other side of the action that we haven't even taken yet. We got to take action to bring the cash in. We got to take action to bring the cash in. We got to take action. We all have access to the same software that I'm about to pull up. No reason why we're not using it to the max. Whether it's a demo account or it's a live account. And if you're going live, if you're on the calls that I'm on, I'm going to tell you flat out, you're only putting $10 in your account. I'm only going to recommend, hey, yo, put $10 into the account. You know why? Because it's going to teach you discipline. If you put $100 in your account, $50 in your account, and you take a loss, you're going to have this mindset. Oh, it's cool. I still got $30 left. You know, I prefer you to put $5 in there. That won't give you much room. But I'm saying 10 to be lenient because you can use a 0.01. And if you cannot grow a $10 account, you will not be able to grow a high account size, a larger account size. You won't be able to do it. The discipline won't be there. The mentality won't be there. You'll get the money and be geeked up. You'll be screenshotting, screen recording before you even take profit. The profit will go into the negative. You will sit there and blow the account. You won't talk. You will sit there and stop chatting. You'll leave out the chat. You'll quit. And then you'll blame your sponsor. You'll blame the company. You'll blame the software and say it don't work. It's you at the end of the day. Let me tell you why. If you put the work in, everything will work out. If you put the work in, everything will work out, right? If you take it, if I say, yo, get in for the sale right now, you don't have to take it. If you take it, it's still your fault. If you win that trade and I call it, it's still your fault that you won it because you took the trade. If you lose that same trade, it's still your fault. Do not let this game of Forex get into your head to where you lose out on the life that you want because you stop taking the action that's needed to be taken and going through the motions that you need to go through. I went 3 years without withdrawing? Listen to the percent of people. It's 97% of people who trade that don't have success. 97% of people who are trading are completely losing their money. How do we get out of that 97%? By doing the total opposite. Do the total opposite. Why would you want to duplicate something that's not working? That don't make sense. And I need everybody to commit to the process. You're not going to understand Forex in one day, 1 week, 1 session, 2 sessions, 1 session a month, 2 sessions a month. You're not going to understand it. It takes time. So in order for you to earn while you learn, you have to be a okay follower so that way you can become the leader from copying the right cat. You cannot grow in this thing that we call life with a negative mindset. So everything from that point has to go out the window. All this, I can't do this. Oh, this is too confusing. Yeah, driving was confusing at first. You know what? A math equation was confusing at first. But until we did the power of repetition, then it started to make sense so we can make dollars. So we just do the same thing with this. At one point, you didn't know how to travel. You didn't know how to get nowhere. At one point, we had to use MapQuest, right? And now we got the GPS in our phone. So if you can learn how to use the GPS in your phone, if you can learn how to download apps inside your phone, you can learn this skill. Stop limiting yourself to saying that you can't do something when you can do anything you put your mind to. I don't care how confusing it is. You done went to the store before, you helped somebody put a TV stand together before. You know what you did? You followed instructions and you followed it to the T. But this game of Forex will play mind tricks on you and make you go somewhere that you don't want to go. It will make you take a trade that you don't want to take. It will make you feel like you're going in the right direction that you're not going. It will make you plug into a trade and blow your whole account. It will make you tell people that you're winning bigger than you ever have and you're not even winning at all. It will tell you that you are going to have $10,000 in your account when you got 0. You have to understand this is what this is. You gotta shift the way that you operate. You gotta shift the way that you think, so that way you can have those results that you want. So now we got the power of AI. So we no longer have to guess. We no longer have to play the guessing game, right? We got answers. We got the back of the math book, right? I remember in math class when I didn't know the answer, they had the odd numbers in the back with the answers on it. So I'm like, yo, you know what? I can't wait till the teacher turn their head. It's on and popping. Well, guess what? We got that now. We got guidance. Like I was like, oh snap! We got a software that do what? It does what? It takes it does that too. What? The time frame, the pattern, the symbol, entry, target, stop loss, risk reward, and to tell you what time it completed. This trade G Chef was just called 1 minute ago. On a 5-minute time frame, it found the Gartley pattern. Now this is bananas. So it found the pattern on a 5-minute time frame. It gave you the entry. It's telling you, yo, when price get here into this trade, it's saying here's the target. Hey, yo, when price get here, exit the trade. And then it's giving you the stop loss. Now, if you look at these numbers, remember we just talked about in the beginning of the call, ignoring that very last number, where in this situation, they took the last number out for us. So 1.1246 to 1.1255. 9 pips. Is it worth hopping in this trade for 9 pips? To me, no, it's not. Now, if you want to scalp and just get a piece of the pie, yeah, it'll make sense. So let's click on it real quick. Now we can see here, price came to the entry zone. Now, when I say entry zone, it has a gray area. What that means is at the very bottom of this is the beginning of the entry that it could be. Because price can just come into the area and then turn around. The highest point of that entry is here. Now we see price came down to this point and started to take off to the top. In my mind, I'm like, yo, it may not be ready yet. Plus, it's only a 9 pip move, so I'm not even looking to enter it. Now, for my entry, remember, we got the TDI. So I'm like, I'm going to wait until we cross the entry line because the red line is the entry line. Then I'll enter the trade, but it's only 9 pips. So by the time it crosses, it's not ready. So I'm not about to force myself into a trade when there's thousands of other trades that I can get into. It's thousands of other trades that I can get into. I don't have to force myself into the trade. And that's one thing that y'all need to understand. Just because you have money in your trading account don't mean you have to be inside of a trade. If that trade is not pushing you to bag back, don't even get in it. If it's not a trade that's worth getting into, like let's look at this ACAT real quick. Hey, it's only 5 pips. That's childish, not worth it, right? But you can see price is way up here. If it breaks all the way to the top and then we see a way that we can enter the trade for the sale, then yes, we'll enter it. But we're only taking smart trades. Just because you see a signal, it does not mean you need to take it, especially if it don't make sense with what you need to see. If what you usually use to win your trades doesn't happen, and it's not a part of your trading plan, if it's not a part of your strategy, then don't take the trade. You're going against your strategy. Now, if your strategy aligns with the Manara, then once that point hits, then you plug in and do that exact same thing, the exact same thing every time. Because if you enter differently, you're not using the same strategy. If I enter now and versus entering when it crossed the entry point, that's not following the strategy. That's going against the grain. That's doing something different. How can I get that result that I want if I'm doing something different? So now I'm playing a guessing game. There's no guessing. You want clarity, then look for what you need to see. Make this as clear as you need it to be. Rather, you're taking a longer term trade, a 15-minute trade that was caught on Manara, an hour trade that was caught on Manara, a 4-hour, whichever one. But understand, when you look at that time frame and you take that trade, it can be increments of that time frame before that trade play out. When you go to the airport and you fly somewhere, do you get to your destination immediately or does it take time? Take that same mindset, apply it to your trading game, right? It's going to take time. And you have to understand another mindset, the doctor mentality. You have to be patient. Everything don't happen immediately. Patience is the key to this. If you have patience, you make a lot of money. If you're impatient, you blow your account You start losing trades, you get discouraged, you start talking about how the company don't work. It's just that you didn't work. It's nobody else's fault. At the end of the day, I promise you, if someone said, yo, Keith, plug into this trade right now. If I plug into that trade without doing my own analysis and I take the trade, it's not their fault. They seen something that I didn't see. I trusted their belief and I plugged in. It's my fault. I didn't have to. If some people win the trade and you don't win the trade, it's a few things that could have happened. Your spread could have been different. You plugged in super duper late. You plugged in super early, or you just didn't get in the trade at all. But you have this software that is giving you the game. All you have to do is come to this. This is just, it's just mind, it's insane. Let me check the chat and make sure I ain't missed nothing real quick. All right, cool. So right here, you can go to the monitor screen. Now on here, I was taught by a lovely educator how to use the monitor screen so that way I could choose the pairs that I wanted to monitor so I could choose the pairs I want to get in. So it's only scanning the pairs that I have on my watch list and so forth. Now I need to make a few more adjustments, but it's giving me the pairs that I want. Once it completes it, I can click on it. Let's just say this one, boom, I click it. It pulls the pattern up. It shows me what it was. Boom, there's the entry, target, pay now. Now, when we look at this, I mean, this is beautiful. We can see this W pattern. Let me see if it'll let me do it. Oh, no. Trading view. I mean, not trading view. Zoom is acting different today. Let me go here. Boom, boom. Perfect. So here we can see this little line here, this line here, this line here. And that last leg of the W, the double trouble, is out of there. But you notice history always repeats itself. It came to the same spot and made a decision. Y'all can see that W, but you have to open your eyes to see it. Now, of course, every time you look at a chart, it may not be as visible as that because sometimes it can be ugly shit. It can get real ugly. It can look weird as heck. But with Manara, it's painting pictures that make things more clear. You can see it and you wait and be patient for what you need to see. And then you plug in. Don't just instantly see it and then plug in because it can for surely come down here first and then break to the top. And then you get your screen read and you over leveraged. And now you saying that the signals from Manara don't work or the trades from the team don't work or somebody. No, understand this. The time frame that the trade was called on matters. So this right here was on the, let me see, 15-minute time frame. So it can take increments of 15 minutes. So it took from the entry 15, 30, 45, an hour to hit here. And it took an hour and 15 minutes to hit the TP2. It takes time. Yeah, what he said. Always check double. Always check double. Come on here and play around. Like there's nothing that you can do to break this system. Let me move this out the way. Move to the bottom. All right, there we go. Let me move. So play around. Let me annotate here. Take it off. Here, perfect. Cool. So security, you come here. Figure out what pairs you want to pull up. Put them on here and let it monitor. This is a refresh button. Let it reload. And if it's a brand new trade that just got scanned off the monitor, look at it and see if it's a trade that you wanted to see. Come to the chart, refresh, always refresh. Always refresh. That should be a whole song. Always refresh. So that way you're getting the up-to-date data. No matter if you've been on here moving around and so forth, always refresh it. It could be a simple glitch in the system that you didn't even catch. But if you refresh it, you might refresh that glitch and you got the most current information that's coming from the software, right? So here, I don't usually just come here and just choose a pair. I'm always either going to monitor or notifications. Now you can use this. Let's go GA again. You can come here, right? And you see, oh, this is beautiful. Y'all know it. So I'm looking at this right here. We're outside the bottom piece of bread. Can somebody tell me what they see on this? Come on, somebody. Come on now. We outside the bottom piece of bread. The entry line is right there on the bottom piece of bread. It's a potential something that could happen. Looking for the buy. Absolutely. So if I'm patient like a doctor and I do the surgery, just diagnosing the problem is it hit the support. So once I cross my entry line, I can look for my entry line and just going for a buy. Take it to my destination. So is there any buy patterns in here that I can potentially look for? Well, let's look to the left. We got stuff over here. Hit the crab. Boom. OMG. We're already at the entry. We're inside the entry. So if this pulls above, right, and crosses this entry line, I can get in for the buy. And we can see, hey, this is a 20 pip move. So this is a move that's worth getting in for myself. So I would potentially get into this trade, but I will wait until we cross the entry line. I believe that this is going to pull up like a pamper. Hey, now. And where's my phone at? Oh, I'm on it. So this is how you can use the system to get results that you want, but you have to be patient. Don't try to rush your success to get to $1 million. When I first got into trading, I was trying to hit $1 million every day. And I kept blowing my account. I realized this. My hourly wage was $19.17 an hour. I was saying that. I don't know why I told somebody $19.17 an hour. And if I can be okay with that per hour, and I see that price gets to $19.17 in a few seconds or a few minutes, why not just take my profit? I'm just adapting the same mentality that I was using at a 9 to 5 and applying it to the charts. It's the same mentality. You can have everything that you want, but you can't get it unless you take the action that's required. You won't get it unless you do the action that's required. I want y'all to get into the back office system, pull up Manara, and mentally take a few trades. See if it plays out the way that you want it to play out. Mentally take the trades. Don't physically take the trade. Mentally take the trade. And if it play out and you get that confidence that you need, then put $10 in the account. Just 10. I don't want you to put the whole bag in there. Because again, if you don't understand it, you're going to continue to just blow the account. Try demo. Do demo until you get that confidence that you need. Don't scare your way. Don't scare yourself away from the life that you want. You've been saying that you want this type of life. You've been saying that you want this result, but you haven't been putting the action in behind it to get it. Oh, I forgot I was even in a trade. GJ is busting to the downside. Hold on, y'all. GJ busting to the downside. You know what I'm saying? So we in this trade. So the team been in this one. We lit. We're moving. Any questions real quick? Any questions? There is no dumb question. That's what we hear.
You know me. Listen, I got a question. Do it work for indices?
That is a great question. Absolutely. Can we put Manara on more than one account? Absolutely. So yeah, both questions. So it work on indices, as you see. Right.
Go to US 30 for me, because the 15-minute time frame, would that be a possibility for a sell from looking at your TDI joint?
Okay, let me go to U30. So when it's not a fresh signal, I'm gonna always go back to trading view to look at it. So here's what we got. If we're gonna be using Manara, here's the mindset that I'm looking at. I'm like, yo, Okay, crab pattern. Let me see if this is a potential sell. Oh, nope, this ain't it. Let's go down to this 2 black gapping, whatever that is, right? I'm like, up this, nope, not it. I'm looking for anything else under here. So there's no other sell patterns that's been created, right? So from here, because it be marking the zones, I can see that this is a resistance here. This is a support. I'm on a 5-minute time frame. And I know the TDI like the back of my hand. So price is up here in a major sell zone. Now, because there's no current signal on it right now, I'm gonna go straight to trading view, pull it up. And I can see it right here inside of this major sell zone. So yeah, I believe this is about to drop heavy. Now that's just out the gate. We came from outside the top piece of bread. We just crossed the entry line. Now we're on a 15-minute time frame, so it can take increments of 15 minutes to get to the destination. Now to see where we want to go with it, let's just make a broad let's make a broad trade idea. Let's go here with it. So we see the highest point that this reached, right? This was the highest of the previous day candle. And then we also want to mark the lowest point of that previous day candle so we can see the zone that we're trading within, right? So now this gives us a clear picture on an easy frame. So we don't have to no difficult, nothing. So from here, I know if we're respecting this line, it's instantly going to be going down. If it breaks above it, we break through into a buy zone so we could potentially get some more buys in there, but we can see we're approaching the resistance. Price, which is the green line, is inside of a sell zone on a daily time frame. So it can be days before the trade play out to the downside, basing your trade off of this time frame. So remember the doctor mentality. We go into that mentality, diagnose the problem. So in order to diagnose the problem, we have to go to the inside, right? So we go into the inside of this candle. So remember this, it takes 6 4-hour candles to create one. Now watch this. 3 candles in a row, like I like to see, right? So this would be my resistance. Now I know price right here was inside of a sell zone. So we sold from this point before. Now right here where we're at, remember that yellow line, place of resistance. Now, if we know that the green line represents these candles up top and we already drew our resistance and support, can we all see we reached the ceiling and we're pulling away from the ceiling? So if this time frame is showing that we're at a resistance, the time frame half of this must be showing that we're going down. We reached
Also, here is divergence, right?
Oh yeah, yep. So then we got this here. So now we can just go to the hour time frame just to see how it's starting to play at a closer time. Remember, nobody, to me, again, my perspective, nobody is ever wrong when they're trading. It's just that you don't enter on the right time when that move is going in your direction. Because if we were trading 6 seconds, it could be buying and selling, but the overall move of that overall candle didn't go in that direction. That's all it is. So here, I'm going to break and go inside of that 4-hour time frame and go to the hour. So again, I'm still diagnosing the problem. Now, when I look at this line here, it's only 2 candles right here though. But look, we at the top piece of bread, the ceiling, the resistance. And when we look to the left, bam, it's the same thing. So I can just extend this out. History always repeats itself. So now that I see this, if I was basing the trade off the hour time frame, I'll be waiting some time until we cross this red line for entry. So now that I can see it here, I know where I am inside this move. I'm at a resistance level. I'm gonna go inside of this hour time frame. Again, this is just real. Oh my, hey now. There's the entry for the sale. That's right. We were outside the top piece of bread from what we went through. We're inside of a major sell zone. We just crossed the entry line. Entry for the celery, no ranch. And if y'all eat ranch, y'all not my family. I'm sorry, I don't eat ranch. So right here, now that I know that the entry for the 15-minute time frame is done, remember the higher time frames are guiding us on where the market is going. The lower frames, we want to use those for the entries. So when we understand the overall move, we have to allow the overall time frame to go. Like you're okay with allowing the time to go by when you're taking your flight to your destination, but you don't want to allow a lot of time for your trade to go to its destination. Use the same mentality, and apply it. Same mentality and apply it. You're at a resistance level right now. You're at the very top. You know that we just crossed the entry line to go down for a sale. Why are we not going to take that sale? And I'm not saying take it right now, but again, from my perspective on what I see, on how I use this, on why I use it, this is why I would enter a trade. Now, this would be entered off the 15-minute time frame. So what I can do is I can see an aggressive move to the upside. I see that this is above the 50 and above the 200, which is a little advanced for y'all, but this could just be the pullback that I'll be catching. And again, if we look to the left, like Beyonce said, right, we're going to see a place where the market has came to before. So this potentially could be that floor that has come back to. This was a ceiling, but we broke above this ceiling and now it's our floor. And notice this is pulling down. So again, if you can start to see that, like, again, this is why I say it the way that I say it. This is from my perspective, because other people may trade differently. So if I'm trading different, I'm only trading from my point of view, my perspective. Nothing that anybody has taught you is wrong, but I'm showing you what works for me. I'm showing you the mentality that I tap into to win. The JG Wentworth mentality. It's my money, I need it now. I'm scalping the market. I'm not just getting in and just, right? I'm getting in when I see what I need to see happen. And when I see it, like, this is perfect. This is perfect right here. We see it. It's going in a direction that it came up here, smacked the top of the resistance, the ceiling, and it's peeling to the bottom. Let me check the chat, make sure I ain't missing anything. And then can we put Manara on more than one account? Yeah, you can, but you really only need it on one. So remember, you're only gonna be using Manara in your back office. So the back office is gonna have the Manara in there, and when you're using the software, it's gonna plug in and give you the information. All you gotta do is go to your MT4 or MT5 and then take your trade. And building wise, y'all, this is a new TDI. Okay, I like it. Okay, yeah, facts. It's like, I appreciate you. Word. You have the ability right now to change your life. My pleasure. Every last one of you have this is the toughest thing, because I remember going through this phase of wanting to have that success, that breakthrough, that life that I've always desired. And I wouldn't get it. And I kept trying to blame other people on why I wasn't having my success. Just like your success. It's yours. If you travel to a different city, man, listen, I just had an experience when I was in Vegas that made me realize I have not been myself. I've been like bottled up, trying to portray this specific, like, it's all about being you to the fullest. If people don't accept you for you, then they're not meant to be around you. They're not meant to be with you on that journey. But you got to understand energy. Like, more important than motivation and inspiration and so forth, environment is more important than all of that. You create the environment. Get away from the people that's telling you that you can't. Get around the people that tell you this is how. This is how. Because anything is possible. You can take one trade today that changed the whole trajectory of your life right now. Everything in your life can change just off of one trade. But realistically, all in all, your whole life can change off of one decision. And you guys made one decision to change your life. It's time that we take the action to bring the cash in. Some of you guys are the chosen one in your family to make that change, to break that generational curse. Some of you have people, all of us have people attached to us that we don't even know that's waiting on us to break that cycle so that way they can have their success. And we keep quitting. And I'm saying we because I was included. I quit before multiple times. Quit over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. For what? How do you physically enter a trade? So how to physically enter into a trade, it's a video on the, what is it called? The link tree. It's a video on a link tree that I did showing you how to enter a trade. Just watch that video. Or,
Hi, Keith.
yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us where the recording of this session will be placed?
Yeah, so I'm gonna place it inside of the paid chat, and I'm also gonna put it inside the group. But if y'all don't,
Sorry, what group is that? The messenger group?
millionaire, yeah, the messenger group, and then like the millionaire app group.
Okay,
If,
thank you.
yeah, if y'all miss it, like if it get posted in and y'all don't see it or whatever, just send me a message directly. I'll send it to you. I know everybody can win. I believe in every last one of y'all. You know why? Somebody believed in me, right? Somebody believed in me at one point. And it was like, I didn't have the proper mindset. I blamed everything on everybody else. And it was never their fault. It was literally me, my action that changed everything that went in my life. Like, yeah, I got you. Let me put, I got you. I'll post it right now. Here is, I'm about to post a link tree real quick for y'all. Give me 1 second. All right, I'll just put it inside the chat. So there we go right there. There, and then boom, let me move this out the way. Anybody else have any questions? No, I kept it over an hour. I'm so sorry. When it comes to Forex, I'm passionate about it. And I ain't gonna hold you. I really ain't sorry. It was designed to happen this way. Y'all was supposed to be here for hour 15. But I want y'all to know, literally, you can do it. So what? You failed in the past. You can't change the past. And realize that you live in all three. You live in the past, present, and the future. After you say something, it becomes the past. When you're currently talking, that's the present. Before you said, it's the future. So you live in all three. But you drive the vehicle to your end goal. What are you going to do? What direction are you going to go? Are you going to drive in the right direction? Or are you going to steer off and keep taking pit stops? Are you going to keep letting these distractions stop? Everything in this world is here to distract you from getting to your end goal. Think about it. Let's go to the club every month. Let's go to the club every weekend. Let's go. Like, it's okay to periodically do it. If you are doing, like, if you are celebrating your success for a week type situation, then go ahead, give yourself that. But if you still don't celebrate shit until your life change, seriously, don't celebrate nothing until you get into that. Like, small accomplishments are good, absolutely. Celebrate the small wins, because you have to take those small steps. The smallest things make the biggest difference. It was that one little action that you took that changed everything. Just that one. It was that one trade that you took, that you believed in, and you let it go to take profit. It was that one call you got on that made it click. Just that one. We get so caught up in this thing that we call life with these distractions, and we miss out on our blessings. This is your chance to go harder than you ever have. Listen, AI is so fresh. Y'all don't hear me though. Let's win big, yo. Let's win big. Let me check the chat real quick if I miss anything. My pleasure. I like how you feel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Cool beans, cool beans, cool beans. So with that being said, I'm gonna end the call. I want y'all to take a moment today and ask yourself, what do you want? What do you want? And don't just think about the surface. Yeah, we want financial freedom. Why? You don't get that level of success that you want. What does your life look like? Some of us don't have that amount of accountability. I'm sorry. Some of us don't have that amount of accountability on ourselves that we need to really force ourselves to push as hard as we need to. Some of us are not in the right environment, and we understand that we're not in the right environment, but you have to push through. You have to break you to break through. Sometimes it's okay to be broken. You have to be broken to recreate. Let's recreate that new version of you, that greater version of you from today forward. No more excuses, just adjustments. And if you can give yourself 1 year, just 1 year, we'll give a relationship 1 year. We'll give a job 1 year. We'll give this and that and a third, drinking, smoking, and all that extra stuff a year. But give yourself a year towards your goal, your end goal, the things that's in alignment with it. Take action to bring the cash in. It's your decision that's going to change everything in your life. The question is, will you do the things that's needed to be done to get the life you want? If I can do it, you can do it. I'm special, but I'm special. I didn't have the best childhood growing up. And a lot of us have a story. All of us have a story on here. But what are you going to do about your story? Did you come this far just to come this far? Did you join us just to say that you're a part of a new business that everybody's talking about? Or did you really want to change your life? Did you really see that the opportunity that you're a part of has you in the beginning? You're the head, not the tail. And you have everything you need. You have the whole entire team. You have the whole entire environment. You have the whole community to help you break through. Don't take this moment for granted. Run, run, run. Everybody in the chat, type run, and we off of here. Run, run. Your bank account, run it up. Your life, run it up. Your trading, run it up. Your trades, run it up. Your pips, run it. Run everything, 10x everything. And don't stop running until you get there. That's when you take your break. I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I'll drop the recording when it's done. I appreciate every last one of y'all for hopping on. We're gonna Forrest Gump run this. I see at the top because the bottom is way too crowded.
Hey.
So, hey now.